Welcome to Kung Fu Havoc number 2. The following video is probably for children who are over 14, 15. So it could be for them lower. I'll try to keep it PG-13 with my mouth as much as possible. Excuse me. I'm also going to stand up for this video because my hip's killing me. Alright, time to get real. Time to get 99.9 and 5/4. There's a thing that a lot of people don't understand, and a lot of people who are not of color don't understand and don't get. Alright? Self-hatred. I'm going to let my hair down now. So, self-hatred is mostly amongst people of color. More so blacks than anyone else. I know this because if you watch a lot of my videos, when I introduce myself as a man of multiculturalness, not dividing or denying any of my heritage. It took me a long time to accept all of myself, okay? And self-hatred is slightly a part of that. Alright, I'm going to explain that as soon as I get my hair straight. Okay, so my hair is naturally curly. I do not use a flat iron. I probably should, but they say that messes up your hair. I do not use a straight perm. I have been known to use a perm once or twice in my 20s. I got talked into it and I liked it. And then I found out that that shit also ruins your hair. So I stopped. I did a lot of shopping around and I found this Royal Crown Grease or Crown Royal. This grease works for me and it makes my hair straight. So when I wash my hair every 3 days, I Royal Crown the hell out of it. Now, I know you're all thinking, what does that have to do with self-hatred? Okay, it has a lot to do with self-hatred because a lot of black people don't like black hair. Well, I, on the other hand, could never get black haircuts. Alright? I had a Wolverine once, or a Lieutenant Guile. I had a Brohawk as long as it was short. I had a Mohawk as long as it was short. But I've never been able to have a Gumby. I've had a high top fade. It was Lieutenant Guile from Street Fighter, for those who don't know. And the thing with that was, a lot of my self-hatred came from me not fitting in with black people. And again, being mixed. In my other videos that you will probably have watched if you're not watching them right now, a lot of black people hate other black people. A lot of black people hate lighter skinned black people. In your color wheel of blackness, you have a fracton of light tones to dark tones. So, I have been blessed to be mixed, to have white, Native American, and black in me, and my true color is high yellow. And don't think that high yellow is not an insult. I have been called high yellow before. There's a lot of half-breed names and things that I have been called before that are not cool. However, if you haven't been the victim of stuff like that, then you would not know if you were being racially insulted or racially complimented. Now, depending on who it's from, it is highly suggested, when you're dealing with people like me who are multicultural or biracial, that we get enough hatred from people away from the home that we don't have to go home and tell our parents, yeah, somebody picked on me because I'm mixed today. You kind of get used to it. You adapt, you adjust, and you keep moving forward. And for me, it was an everyday thing, whether I liked it or not. You don't know how many times in high school and grade school and middle school it was, hey, half-breed this, hey, half-breed that. And that was mostly done by black people. So self-hatred. Self-hatred really becomes a thing for economic status because you're poor, and this is when color is not involved, because a lot of suicide videos have made it on the internet involving Filipinos, which is like the lower side of the Asian spectrum, depending on how you treat other Asians if you are an Asian. It's the same thing. It's like Filipinos are like the blacks of Asia, where black people are just the black people of the world, and even the Africans look on us somewhat slightly lower. You don't have to believe that. I didn't believe it until I was with the wheelchair basketball team from Jamaica or Trinidad or whichever one or both. Explained that they are also victims of that from Africa. However, in the defense of 4 people that I personally know from Africa who are great people, who don't hate black American people, and who don't hate mixed people, and for them, I'm going to cover their butts because not everyone in Africa hates other people who are black that are not from Africa. Now, I can't say the whole continent or country feels the way my 4 friends feel, because I've had those threats from other Africans who were in high school exchange student programs with me and worked at the University of Virginia, who straight told me that they hate black people. So you see the camaraderie there, which goes back to how black people suffer from self-hatred so much, because if Africa doesn't want you to come back, I'm gonna break that down in a minute. So many years ago, there was this thing in the mid 90s, late 80s about black people jumping ship and going back to Africa. For those who are not Generation Xers or baby boomers or you new millennium people, y'all have no idea about this, but for us Generation Xers, Generation Zs, baby boomers, and old timers, ancient ones, we know, especially the black people, we know, because this also kind of came around with the birth of Kwanzaa, which is not exactly an African holiday. That was made up by a university professor. Yeah, it totally screwed me up too when I found out. Here I was thinking, oh, I can celebrate Kwanzaa, because Kwanzaa is kind of just like the Jewish holiday, where you light all these bloody candles or whatever. And when I found out that Kwanzaa was not actually from Africa, I was like, damn, it's going to be a lot of upset black people who think they're celebrating an African holiday. Anyway, self-hatred. I can't say in modern times self-hatred for Asians or Native Americans or how that works. I'm pretty sure that after the taking of America, a lot of Native Americans, and specifically the women who were raped or married off, probably committed suicide a lot. Same thing with China and Japan and other Asian countries, but those weren't really self-hatred. Those were more or less like, you've been violated, and the only way to not bring an evil spawn into the world that you didn't ask for was to end yourself. But self-hatred for black people is on a whole nother level. Alright? And I will explain that in the next video.